Okay, welcome everyone. We'll start our second lesson. Today lesson will go through LO2, which is about be able to appraise strategic options for an organization. My name is Anjum Sattar and my email address anjum@ukversity.co.uk. Please, if you have any question, drop me email on my email address and I'll try my best to get back to you as soon as possible. So today lesson key command verb we have, which will go through analyze, separate information into the small component. If somebody say to you, analyze something, so we need to be divide into the small component to compare and analyze. So discuss, pros and cons of the topic and argument, reasons, comments. That's, main analysis. Apply, put into operation or use, you apply your knowledge, then you draw the recommendation based on your knowledge. You recommend something or suggestion something based on theories, based on analysis, and then you can draw the recommendation. So that's the key command verb we have. Today lesson indicative content, what we supposed to be learn under this LO learning outcome 2, to review the position and organization in its current market. So review position of organization. So we can pick any organization. Think about Unilever's first sport, their market shares, how much they have, their profitability, how much profit they have. We can look around the growth. We can look around future plan. Yes. So we look around the position in the current market, what their position, market situation analysis. We can look around the growth rate, yes, in the market, and then we can measurement strategic business planning, different planning tools. Why we need to be plan is all about where we are and where we want to see ourselves in future. That's the planning. Okay, anybody any question, please you can ask as well in the chat box. Okay, so if you're listening this recording, please you can drop me email if you have any question. Okay, so then look around, we'll go through SWOT analysis. When we plan something, we need to analyze our strengths. We need to look around our area of development, which we call weakness, and we can look around opportunities. Opportunities always come from the outside, and threats, what are the risks, in the market. So look around opportunities. Like yesterday, you may be heard in the telly and the BBC news, government removed the restrictions on those people, travel restriction for those people who have double vaccinated. So now for the hospitality industry is a huge opportunity. Yes. So if we have an opportunity, do we have a strength to avail the opportunities? So if we don't have that strength, what we can do, if we don't have a funding to set up, so what we can do, we can make partnership with various partners or investors to make partnership. Or we have a lack of skills, we can develop, if we have a weaknesses, we have to develop those, weakness we have. Strength can be we had a good market knowledge, experience. Weaknesses can be short of the financial resources, and the thread is risk. There is a competition as well. So a lot of threads we have. This still COVID-19 not went away. So is the thread. Maybe the lockdown will come again. So that's other thread. So that's, we will discuss, when we'll plan something for future, we need to look around all our strength, our area of development, our opportunities, our threats, which our companies can face due to the number of, okay, so this SNW, strength and weaknesses, is internal. So what is the internal within our organization, within your own, personalities. Opportunities and threats come from outside. That's, we need to be, if you're a good planner, you always try to be minimize those, so that's we need to always look around. Okay, so next we look now Porter 5 forces analysis. which will go through Michael Porter, one of the great scholar. He gave the five forces analysis model, which we can use. Value chain is also Michael Porter value chain model. Boston Consultant Group, the is a product metric portfolio. So which product is give us more market share, which is growing, which one not is growing. So all these, and if we well plan things, we can gain the sustainable competitive advantage over the competitor. That will be the focus in our discussion today as well. Okay, so we go through the word the strategy. The is mean action plan. Strategic planning is mean the long term planning. So you have to ask the question what what your plan for the future. So think about these companies is not anymore in business. Why they not anymore in business? Why they not sustain? Because they not change themselves according to their planning was not effective according to the changing the opportunities and threats in the external environment accordingly. So they not avail the new opportunity. This ultimately competition increase and they have less customer. They have even stocks and everything, and they're not with up to date. So ultimately, if we either 80 or 20, if we stop learning, you become older. So we need to be make sure. So we need to be appraised, always companies in time, cost, and qualities how they are, because ultimately in the long run it's effect. So we have a 2.1 critically explore the relationship between the corporate, business, and operational strategy. So it's a huge relationship. The term used, the discussion about strategy is look like as the meaning of the word strategy. Us extent strategic planning is useful. Then goes on the outline the main step of formulating strategy, how we can develop strategy as strategic planning for the future. Can also be known as the long-term planning or the corporate plan. Those alternative names give some insights into the nature of the strategic planning. Considering the longer term, think of the time horizon of about 5 years or beyond. Consider the whole organization. Other characteristic of strategic planning are it's give the direction to the whole organization and integrate its activities. It's consider all stakeholders. It's look at how to gain sustainable competitive advantage. It's related the organization, its resources and competencies to its environment. So what we need to do, we need to be look around the relationship, corporate organizations, companies, public limited, private limited. We can look around the nature of the business. Yes, strategies, Porter. Okay, a couple of you learn about Porter generic strategies. Porter generic strategy, those are four, which we mentioned in the previous lesson as well. We discussed, the cost leadership. You want to be most cheapest company in the market, in the industry. So think about the Ryanair, EasyJet. Those are focused on the cost leadership. Cost focus. Maybe you're not overall cheap, but some product, those you want to compete with your competitor, that's your focus on the cost. Differentiation. So differentiation, your features and benefit of the product can be different than your competitor, like Apple, if we compare with the Samsung. Differentiation focus, you're not everything different. You're both mobile phone, but your software are extra, the storage or the backup or cloud. So that's differentiation focus, just one narrow area. Sustainability, if we want to be sustained, we need to be focused on the profit, we need to be focused on the people, and we need to be focused on the planet. Then we can sustain. Anybody any question? Okay, guys. Next, we have strategic planning. These are the steps in the process which set the mission first, establish the objective, do internal appraisal in what strength, what weaknesses, external, what opportunities, what threats we have, stakeholders, who they are, to whom we want to be sell, what their purchasing power, what sort of the people they are, is it high, is it upper, middle, or lower class of society. Yes, what perceive, what occasion they use the thing. So all these are the planning elements. So generate the strategic option. Yes, look around. Option is what are the best option. Decision making is means selecting the best course of action, best option. That's we need to be strategic choices. What choices we have? Plan and implement the strategy. You plan and implement the strategy is mean action plan. Review and control. We need to be review and control. Strategic is the long term. Okay. Next, we're looking Johnson and Scholl, one of the great scholar. He gave a lot of theories and he wrote books as well. He said about the full price airline is considering setting up no fare, low fare subsidiaries. Strategic planning process include the following: strategic position, competitor actions, oil prices forecast, passenger volume, like now due to the COVID and now removing the restriction which I earlier mentioned, so we can look around British Airways or any other airways, to cheap landing rights, public concern, environmental damage, effect on the main drag. Strategic choices, which route to launch, set up the service from the scratch, or to buy existing cheap airlines, which plans to use. So all these strategic choices we have, and we can plan, implement. Then how autonomy should be new airline be, how to recruit and train staff, implementation in internet booking system, acquisition of aircraft, and obtain the landing slot. So that's all we need to be in our planning. Then we look around 2.2, which is about apply the strategic model tool, develop the strategic option, organization and capability. So what is, first of all, we need to know what is meant by capabilities and competencies. Anyone, guys, what you know about capabilities and competencies? Identify strategic capabilities. Capabilities mean the ability to do something. Ability to do something is a crucial what capabilities as an organization we have. So that's we need to be. So in terms of the organization resources, competencies, how effectively we deploy those resources to get the maximum and achieve our objective. So that's which will decide strategic capability. In different organization have different abilities, but the ability is not stay the same. It's dynamic, it's change. So we need to be renew them. We need to be carry on changing. If we don't change it, either you're 80 and 20, you become older and you can't sustain. Competencies, yes. So we need to be improve our competency. In a life, the strategic capabilities might provide the sustainable competitive advantage on the basis of their value, royalty, inimitability, and the organization support. This model, VRIO model, value, royalty, inimitability, and organization support, which we can use for the analysis, benchmark, value chain, activity mapping, and SWOT analysis. Develop the strategic capabilities we need to carry on using. So what is critical success factor? Always when you plan, always look critical success factor in any organization, because critical success factor is very important, because your organization only can sustain CSF, critical success factor. One, considering the strength and weaknesses is important to match critical success factor. uh, so in the service industry, critical success factor is a good customer service. So your first impression is the last impression, the advisor, because a lot of people not only want to be cheaper ticket, but they want the quality service as well. So that's the unique and the core competency to meet, so you have a competency to meet the clients and good in the objection handling and product life cycle analysis. Managers need to consider the whole product portfolio. For example, if all the products are declining phase, when the company may have much future unless develop the new product quickly. The M model, the memory joggers model, managers could access the strength, weaknesses under the following: money, the cash flow, management, does the board or the small family have the necessary skill, manpower, their problem retain good stock, manufacturing, how does quality compare to revival, market, do we have new product development in the key market, and material, Are we sourcing quality component at the competitive price and makeup? Do we have excessive cost due to the bureaucracy? That's, always we need to look around. Strategic capability, key issues. What are the strategic capabilities? How do strategic capability contribute to the competitive advantage? How to diagnose strategic capabilities we need to, what abilities people have, and how to manage, develop the strategic capability if we don't have it. So next, we're looking the model. It's all resource-based view model, which is also given by the Michael Porter's. The strategy is that the competitive advantage and the superior performance of an organization explained by the distinctive of its capabilities, resources, and competencies. So it is sometimes also called the capabilities views. Strategic capability are the capabilities of the organization and contribute to long-term survival. So that's, we need to be long-term survival. Like we mentioned earlier, a lot of organizations not sustain in the long run because their capability was not effective and they don't have a competency to deploy their abilities effectively. So competitive advantage, not not gain. Resources are asset organization call upon partner supplier what we have competency the way the asset is used what do we value so that's what is mean competency. So these are look around. We have resources. These are the resources. We're looking physical, financial, and human. And these are the way to achieving the utilization of plant. How we well utilize it. Ability to raise fund. How effectively we are in the management of the cash and other things. So how people gain the experience, yes, knowledge, skills, build the relation. So this model is very important, and ultimately this lead to be develop the long-term competitive advantage for organization. Okay, redundant capability never stayed. They become redundant. Capability, however effective in the past, can be become less relevant. Industries evolve because the changes. If you was very successful, but people don't want to learn IT and don't want to be innovate themselves, don't want to be changed. So change is inhibits. So we need to be changed ourselves. If we don't change it, we can. Okay, dynamic capabilities are mean the organization has ability to renew, recreate strategic capability to meet the needs of the changing environment, such as the capability at the distance from the ordinary capabilities, efficient now and but now may not be sufficient to sustain superior performance in the future. So sensing, you have to be sense what new capabilities like Nokia not sense it, they close many research and development center. So that's seizing capability, addressing the opportunity to the new product and processes threshold and distinctive capabilities. Reconfigure the capabilities. We need to threshold the minimum, the benchmark capabilities in our organization. Those are qualified distinctive. You can differentiate yourself again and you become a winner in the companies. Okay, threshold resources capability, threshold resources and threshold competencies. We need to distinctive resources and distinctive competencies. We need to be core competencies are linked the set skills when you recruit the people, activities and resources that are together deliver the customer value, deliver the business from the competitor, potentially be to extend. So that's we need to be look around. Okay, anybody, any question, guys? Yes, the we can look around the organization, we can apply these models, and that's the key we'll go through in these models. Strategic capabilities and competitive advantage. The four key areas capabilities term provide the basis to achieve the sustainable value, royalty, inimitability, and organization according to VRIO model. What is meant by value? Do the capabilities exist the value to customer? Because customer want what the money paying, they want good customer service, the product is fit for purpose or not. Royalty, do the capability exist? No fewer competitor possess. You're real hard to copy and Inimitability, are the capability difficult and costly? Yes, it's a difficult and costly, depends on the nature and the organization business. Organization support, is the organization appropriate, organize, exploit the capabilities, value strategic capabilities, take advantage and opportunities and threat, provide the value to customer. That's all the key thing. When we look at the royalty capabilities, process unique one organization and only few others. The company have patents, product copyrights, yes, powered brands, all these, like Nike and the various other companies. No one is really, the way they have. So inimitability is the capability those, competitor find difficult and costly to imitate and obtain a substitute. So competitive advantage uniqueness can be individual IT systems, always sustain people system if they are leaving, so it's difficult will be sustainability. So that's why this model can be used to be criteria inimitability, strategic capability. Sometimes complexity can be internal linkage, external linkage, casual ambiguity. Inimitability is can be capabilities, culture, history of the organization. Also is a lot of dependencies. So this model we can look around the value. Yes, no, yes, yes. So various things we can look around under this: rare, inimitable, sport by organization, competitive advantage, competitive priority, and then temporary competitive advantage we have, maybe we can't sustain it. Okay, next model is given by the again Michael Porter value chain model, which is we need to look around some primary and some secondary activities. So there are the four activities according to the Michael Porter that we need to be look around. So if we look here, these are the primary activities: inbound operation, outbound marketing and services, and service itself. So these are the primary activities. Then we have a supportive these four activities from infrastructure, human resource management, technology, and procurement. These we can't isolate them each other. The supportive there and then primary activity. So if your primary activity not perform and the supportive activity not support them, so we can't really achieve our organization and the competitive advantage. The value system comprise set of internal linkage between the relationship between department and services, so ultimately help to achieve our advantage. This is one of the video, it's quite good to watch, which we can look around, that will help to enhance value chain model uh, application side. So please watch in your time, and if you have any question we can go through in the next lesson. Okay, so next we have use of the value chain, a generic description of the activities, understand the discrete, the cluster linkage, identify the activities, analyze the competitive position in the industry, enhance the value or decrease the cost, understand the cost and the price of any systems in the organization that will help. Basically we want to be create the competitive advantage when we do the long-term planning. We need to be make sure we sustain, only we can sustain if we reduce and innovate ourselves, reduce waste and innovate ourselves. And like the Dell computer, they have moved and they changed their model to direct business model, and they set up the factory in India and selling throughout the world, taking order advance. So their cash flow problem, they cost cheaper, and they innovate, their model. So we that's the long term they can sustain. Understand the cost and price structure across the value system, identify the profit pool, level of the profit and the part, and make or buy the decision. Either you make yourself or you buy from others, yes, or partnering relationship value. So mapping the activities, identify the higher order strategic themes. We need to identify the cluster activities. We can work as a part and interlink activity. If you don't do this, you can't do others. So if you're not good service customers, you can't get the future orders. The customer satisfaction drop. Ultimately, your sale drop. Your sale drop, leads to the less profit, and that will lead to the problem for the organization. So this is the mapping and is a connected activities, so is the systems also is developed by diagram this, author, and look around there is a network. Okay, using activity map system relationship to the value chain, important of the linkage and fit, and relationship to the Virgo value reality, all this which we discussed in the previous in slide. So any question, anyone? Okay, next we have 2.3, evaluate strategic option for an organization. Strategic option generation of the processes, establish the choices for the possible future strategies, strategic choices, how to compete according to directions, growth, unsurf or withdraw, or the method of the growth through acquisition or generic. Strategic choices typically follow the strategic analysis based on generation, strategic option, growth, acquisition, diversification. We need to evaluation of the option to assess, their relative merits and feasibility strategies, and although these techniques, evaluating in addition to deciding the scope and direction of organization and choice. And broadly, there are two ways, strategy can be pursued. Okay, strategic choices is the key step about the strategic planning, strategic analysis, strategic choices, strategic implementation. Strategic choices typically follow the strategic analysis is based on follow generation, evaluation, selections. That's all we need to be look around under the strategic choices. Okay, according to the grade Johnson and Scholes, suitability we need to be acceptability and feasibility. That's all we need to be do when we're making the strategy. And three criteria is the suitable option to adequate responsive from the firm assessment, strategic position. Acceptability, consider whether the option meet the consistent objective of the organization, not conflict with the missions of the organization. Okay, the feasibility, yes, actually you make the feasibility and then implementation. Okay, as we mentioned, SWOT analysis, internal and external opportunities and threats. We can do analysis for any or chosen organization such as Unilever, which we can look around. So as management try 2 plus 2 makes 5, sourcing, working as a team, reducing the input and increasing the output, or how we can do if we have a good identify our strength, our weaknesses, our opportunities, our threats, which is we discuss opportunities and threat identifiers, which we can look around and outside the organization, and opportunities come from outside threads, and this SWOT metrics we can say choice metrics as well, opportunities. So maybe we can map it like SO up strength and opportunity, strategic position. They use the strength to take the advantage of opportunities. WO strategic option can be generate option here that take the advantage of opportunities by overcoming the weakness, and ST strategic option generate to use the strength to avoid the threats, and W generate option here to minimize the weakness in and avoid threats. That can be, so that model we can use for internal factors, can be and dangerous in the SWOT analysis, long list, not attempt the prioritize, which we need to be look around sometime. Substitute analysis required for this, and developing the strategic capability. In internal capabilities, building the recombining the capabilities, leveraging the capabilities, and etc. So identify these capabilities. Okay, so what we need to do next, we have external capability development. We need to look around seizing activities some way, maybe monitor output and benefits. So better, and then we need to look around the benchmark at the mean of, understand the relative performance management and VRO model, that's we need to apply, and we need to be make sure in the activity mapping, SWOT analysis. So what we need to do, BCG metrics, when we need to look around the, some product can be cash cow, some product can be star, some product can be docs. So those are the problem child. Some author use the word. So this metric can be used. So star is the business unit, it's a higher market, so you can list them. Which product? Question mark is the business unit, but does not yet, high market shares, cash cows, high market shares in the nature of the market, a mature market. A dog is the business unit, low market share. The problem, the BCG can be sometimes the BCG metric thing can be vague, complete capital market exemption, motivation problems, dog, and self, fulfilling the and ignoring the commercial. So then next Michael Porter gave this model is Porter 5 forces. According to when we do strategic analysis and strategic planning, that is a crucial Michael Porter 5 forces model. We can use it. So there can be a thread power of suppliers. We need to thread up. That can be a thread. There thread up the new entrants. We need to be look around what thread we have is a high, low, medium. Rivalry in the industry. How much competition we have. Buyer power. How much buyer power they have. They have a power to be switch. From one company to other company, and so on. That's we need to be look around, and thread of substitute. That's we need to be look around as well. So ultimately, this leads to a thread of substitute, relative price of the substitute, relative quality of the substitute, switching costs. All this we need to be make sure, will carry on moving and looking around. Anybody, any question? Okay, then I copied the link for you guys. Please make sure in your time, go through this quiz. And if you have any question, and we can attend. So today lesson we discuss about Porter 5 forces model. So we'll recap. We discuss about Porter 5 forces. We discuss about VRIO model, resource-based view. We discuss SWOT. We discuss value chain, and we discuss about capabilities and competencies. So these are the key models we discussed today lesson. And if you have any question, please you can drop me email and we can go through, and all the links which are those are there. Please make sure go through, watch the video as well about the value chain. And in the next lesson we'll look around the LO3, learning outcome 3. Thanks for listening and attending, and I hope so speak to you all during our next session. Thank you. Bye bye.